Hey everybody, Mark Agnesi here again in the back room at Norman's Rare Guitars. Welcome back to another episode of Guitar of the Day.
Woo woo!
December the 8th. Crazy day in rock and roll history. Jim Morrison, born December 8th. That's cool. John Lennon, murdered December 8th, 1980, I think it was. A little before I was born. Not very cool. Also, December 8th, Dimebag Darrell, murdered on stage. El Rasa Villa, Columbus, Ohio, not far from where I grew up as a kid. Club I used to play. Crazy day for rock and roll. I think it's been about 13 years on Dime now, and God, Lennon's getting close to 40 years already. Crazy day for rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's Friday. It's almost the weekend for some people. Not us, but it's almost Christmas vacation, boo.
I know, I'm so excited.
Which, by the way, we'll be closed from Christmas Day till New Year's Day. No, I'm not going to pre-record a bunch of Guitar of the Days to get you through that. I'm just going to take a week off and enjoy myself. But yeah, we'll be back on January the 2nd for an all-new year of Guitar of the Day.
Woo!
Can't wait for what next year has in store. I think episode 600 will be next year.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do a blooper for Christmas.
Oh, can't wait for that. Last one was so fantastic. It's Flat Top Friday. I've got something so major to show you guys today. Yeah, it's a Martin, and I know a lot of people will be like, God, it's always just these Martin and Gibson guitars. Do something cool like a Teisco. Do a Bernie Les Paul copy from the 70s. Let me teach you some taste here, kids. It's Flat Top Friday. There's no better time than now to learn. Come on back and take a look at this. This is from 1928. This is an original Martin 00045.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll just take a second to let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
From 1928, a Martin 00045.
That is gorgeous. Look at that.
That's some guitar porn for you right there. Jen's getting all those angles in low def. Let's talk.
Why you gotta say low def though?
Every time I watch it, it looks like shit, man. I gotta tell you. We gotta talk about 45s. Because this is like this is the top of the peak, man. This is as good as it gets for the Martin stuff. And from this era, anytime you see an old Martin guitar with this much pearl on it, oh yeah. It's major. 45 series kind of started in the early part of the 1900s. I want to say 1904 is probably when the first 45 started, but they did some custom 42s that had the pearl on the sides and back, stuff that I guess would be considered 45s. We actually did one that was, God, if you look back through old Guitar of the Days, it was probably maybe around this time last year. It was a 0042S, or a 45 prototype. Had the inlaid kind of mandolin style pick guard, had the big Tree of Life inlays, had all the cool pearl stuff on it. Those were kind of their first cracks at what would become the 45 series. I think the one that was maybe 2 serial numbers after ours was the one that had the pearl on the sides and the back, which ended up being the set of features that became the 45. But the 45 was the top of the line. This was the showcase model. Any of the big, huge mega stars of the day, this is what they had. So when we say 45, what we're referring to is the pearl appointments. So we're going to have the body binding all the way around the outside and down the neck joint, as well as the rosette around the sound hole will all be pearl. But then you'll also have basically every edge of the guitar sound box. So all the way around the sides and then around the back as well is all going to be inlaid with that abalone shell and mother of pearl. We're also going to have the snowflake inlays on the fingerboard, and then you're going to have the inlaid mother of pearl flower pot on the headstock, which is also quite rad. Now 28 is kind of an important year for this guitar, mainly being, you'll notice this is still a pyramid bridge. You won't see the belly bridge really until you get into the 1930s. But 1928 is the first year that these guitars shipped with steel strings. What's the significance of that? All the guitars we know now today are designed for steel strings. Before 28, well, 27 I think it was an option, but before that, steel strings weren't a thing yet. That wasn't really what was in vogue in music at the time. So people were still playing gut string kind of things like that, which means these guitars before this era were not really braced for these steel strings. So if you get one of these early turn of the century Martins, it sounds really cool to have like a 1800s Martin or something. If you went and put regular light gauge strings on it and tuned it up to pitch, that whole bridge is just going to rip right off the top of the guitar. It's not meant for the amount of tension that steel strings put on it. By 28, they kind of came around to this is what is going to be in vogue now for popular music, the steel string acoustic guitar. We have to start bracing for it. So really, this is the first time Martin came out with a guitar that you would still want to play today, really. Because a lot of those old guitars, unless you put super low tension strings or gut strings on them, you're just going to destroy the top of the guitar. This one, again, Brazilian Rosewood. You see all this stuff right here? That's kind of cross hashing. That's saw burn. That's actually from the saw cutting the piece of wood. But look how just straight grained and perfect that Brazilian is.
Wow.
Has picked up a little back crack here, which has been repaired. And then the top, again, just really a little bit of play wear from somebody using it. A couple little small things up here around the edge. Hard to tell, really, if those are cracks through, but obviously that's not a very... It's a very stable part of the top because you have all the kerfing underneath there. Ebony board, ebony bridge. Of course, slotted headstock, which means we're going to have the 12 fret neck joint. It's going to be a few more years before you start to see the 14 fret ones. I think really the OMs probably, they were the first of the 14 fret ones of these that they did. But man, what a fantastic instrument. Country and Western as hell right there. This is so Grand Ole Opry with all that pearl. Of course, you got the original green lined hardshell case as well, which is also in quite fantastic condition. Man, killer guitars.
Sweet. Let's
go out to the couch, tickle this little guy here. I'm not going to do the Agnesi bang on it test, but we'll try and play something period appropriate with a pick on it as well. And oh, I can't wait. Let's go out to the couch here, this guy. All right, we're out front. We have the 1928 Martin 0045 12 fretter. We're going to put it through the paces here. We'll start with a little finger style guitar. We'll switch to a pick. Just a second here. back up to pitch here. Let's hit it with a flat pick a little bit harder. Let's see how this thing opens up a little bit when we lay into it just a bit. From 1928. It's the top of the line, man. It's the Martin 00045. Adirondack spruce top, Brazilian rosewood back and sides, abalone and pearl everywhere you freaking look, ebony board and bridge, flower pot headstock. Man, it's just about as cool as it gets for a flat top. There's your Flat Top Friday for this week. Follow me on Instagram at Mark Agnesi. Follow the store at Norman's Rare Guitars. And check this and the rest of these guitars out on normansrareguitars.com. We got one more guitar of the day coming at you guys this week. Come back and join us tomorrow for one final episode. Spoiler! It's freaking Saturday. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Bye. Bye.